I'm Burns-Williamson, I'm the Police and Crime Commissioner for West Yorkshire, and obviously I'm delighted to have been invited here today to open this Bradford safeguarding event. It is my job actually to hold the Chief Constable to account for policing in West Yorkshire. I set the Police and Crime Plan, which is the overarching plan that the police and partners actually work to throughout West Yorkshire, and that's developed to a lot of consultation, including obviously with yourselves as members of the public. So it's an important oversight, overarching plan for the whole of West Yorkshire, and of course here in Bradford as well. And obviously the vision of that plan is to keep communities safe and feeling safe. So hopefully that's something that we can all sign up to as a vision, because all of us, from wherever we live, whatever community we're from, we all want to just go about our lives in a safe way and build those positive relationships in our communities. I know that today's event in particular is clearly about looking at safeguarding and looking at how we protect those that are more vulnerable within our society and within our communities. And obviously seeing you all here today is great, because clearly you've got a vested interest, otherwise you wouldn't be committing to an event like today. So thank you for taking time out and all being here today. So it is a privilege for me to open this Bradford Safeguarding Week event, because it is focused ultimately on the people that we serve throughout West Yorkshire. And Safeguarding Week is all about agencies as well coming together, professionals, communities, to learn about safeguarding so that everyone can hopefully live safe, healthy and happy lives. So Safeguarding Week is something that I and I'm sure you are very proud about, because you know, it's really important that we do take time out to look at some of these issues in more detail. And I'm aware that Safeguarding Week did actually start here in Bradford, and I think this is the 7th year now in which this has been held, so that's a big achievement in its own right, and it's great that Bradford Council and Bradford are at the forefront of that, so well done. So the saying is that safeguarding really is everybody's business. I know sometimes we hear about slogans, but I think it is actually true that we all need to look out for one another and make sure that we are doing whatever we can collectively to come together and protect those that are probably at risk of more harm within our communities. So the Bradford Safeguarding Adults Board is now writing its next 3-year plan. This plan will explain how the Safeguarding Adults Board will work in the future to help keep people safe. And obviously you've been invited here today so that we can tell you about those plans and ask you what you think about some of the key issues there. And we'll also tell you about the different types of abuse and some of the issues that clearly involve safeguarding. So the voices of yourselves, the public, are at the heart of everything that we do, and I want to personally thank everyone for making the effort in terms of not only being here today, but for what you do throughout the year in your different roles in the community and the different organisations. So thank you very much. And I know that organising these events does take a lot of hard work, so it is really pleasing that we've got a number of organisations here today, and obviously the 5 districts of West Yorkshire as well are working more closely together to try and make things happen in a more coordinated way across the whole of the county. And obviously that's part of my role, making sure that each of our districts are absolutely doing what they can, working together to tackle safeguarding in its broadest sense. When we actually carried out the consultation into that police and crime plan that I mentioned earlier, people who responded to that said that 70% of the people who responded said that safeguarding was important to them. So that was actually a big jump from the first plan which I produced back in 2013 now, and the next plan was produced in back end of 2016, early 2017. So that was a big jump from the original consultation that we undertook. So that's pleasing that there's clearly more awareness out there, but obviously events like today are about reinforcing those messages. So as I've said, safeguarding is a key outcome in the police and crime plan, and I'm delighted that to support partners in raising awareness, working with communities, whether that's public consultation or developing online resources or training of professionals and supporting those who sometimes feel vulnerable. And you know, it's important that we have a range of approaches to, yes, face-to-face events like this and talking to you, but obviously a lot of people do go online and prefer to communicate in different ways, so it's important that we have a range of different ways and opportunities to do that. Some of you may have seen Stuart Piper. Stuart's at the back. I appointed Stuart 3 years ago now as my safeguarding advisor to help me deliver some of the priorities within the police and crime plan, to hopefully take forward a more consistent and cohesive approach to safeguarding, not only in Bradford but across West Yorkshire. This week a new website that I've helped to fund has been developed by Calderdale Council with schools and partners, and that's gone live. It's called the Healthy Relationships Resources website. It's an online resource library that all schools can access about healthy relationships, giving children the skills and knowledge to help them protect themselves and again live happy and safe lives in the right way to safeguard not only themselves but their friends and families in the future. This month also has been very busy so far. I was pleased to welcome Baroness Helen Newlove to West Yorkshire. Recently she's the National Victims Commissioner, and she helped launch the new Victim Services service that I've commissioned for the next 3 years. It's a contract that's worth £3.6 million, and it has been awarded to the charity Victim Support, who hopefully many of you are already aware of. And as I've said, that's for the next 3 years, and it's an enhanced service because it's now available to children for the first time, and in fact people who might not feel confident of reporting to the police in the first instance can access that service as well, even if you haven't reported it as a crime. So that's a really important step forward, and I want to raise awareness about that service around how people can access that throughout West Yorkshire. I've also created the Safer Communities Fund, which hopefully some of you will have heard of, and obviously, is it?
Sean from Bradford People First.
Sean, yeah. And hopefully you've been recipients of over the past few years. So this is funding that's brought together through the proceeds of crime. So the police, working with the courts and the prosecutors, work very hard to obviously arrest and tackle criminality and seize assets and monies that have been ill-gotten, shall we say. And I'm really pleased that we've been able to put more than £2.2 million worth of that funding now back into more than 500 projects in West Yorkshire over the past 3 to 4 years. And the latest grant round only closed last week, and again we're well oversubscribed. We've had more than 100 applications for the latest grant round, and that's a themed one. It's looking at how groups and communities tackle serious and violent crime, and obviously we've heard too much about knife crime and some of those types of incidents in the news recently, and we need to do what we can to prevent those types of crimes from happening in the first place. So hopefully, I'm sure there will be some projects in Bradford that have applied for that, and will, I look forward to seeing what the outcome of those applications are. I also want to particularly mention Bradford People First, who are safeguarding, the active safeguarding champions. They are part of the Bradford Safeguarding Adults Board Safeguarding Voice Group. They are one of the groups who were successful in obtaining the Safe Communities grant, and obviously I look forward to a visit on a future occasion when I can spend more time getting to know more about what you do and the details, and we might hear, I'm sure, a bit more about that this morning as well. Obviously, I'm sure you've taken an active role in planning today's event, and you'll be delivering some key messages, so thanks very much for being involved today. And before I hand over to Bev Maybury from the Bradford Council, I'd like to say that I know and hope you will have an engaging day this morning and into the afternoon. Please make the most of this opportunity to work together and get to know each other a little bit more. And obviously it's all about keeping people safe in our communities and feeling safe as well in Bradford and throughout West Yorkshire. So with that, thank you very much for listening, and as I've said, I hope you all have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mark. That was excellent.